Hey guys, it's Elena.
And it's Candace.
And you're listening to Cousins on Crime.
Sexy voice tonight.
Yeah, Candace probably won't be talking very much in this episode.
I'll be like,
which some of you may appreciate.
Yeah. Oh, she didn't. Wow. I feel personally attacked. No, it probably is good because then I won't have to share my opinion.
Well, I personally love your opinion, so I hope you do.
Thank you very much. Yeah. How are you? I feel like it's been a coon's age.
It's been a long time. I feel like I don't even know you anymore.
Because we were so ahead. Mm-hmm. And okay, so last week, guys, I'm sorry that you didn't get an episode. There was something planned, and some of you may have heard what was published, and then it was taken down. I don't really want to go into that because it's kind of a whole thing, but I'm just sorry. Okay, so let's all move on. Last week was very deflating, so let's just move on and get on with ourselves. I'm laughing because I just want to lay down and cry.
Oh no.
Anyway, but we're back, and we were so ahead that when I text you and I was like, are you ready to record? And you were like, man, I've really been enjoying myself, my relaxing too much. And I did too. So I was so there, just letting myself at night just get in bed and do my puzzles on my iPad.
Yeah.
And then go to bed instead of get on my laptop and do work and do work and do work and do work.
Yes. And I went to Florida and I laid on the beach with no interruption.
Nice.
And then I came home and did not get back to work. I mean, I got back to my full-time job, but, extracurricular things I did not. So, so then now I was scrambling, but I got something ready for y'all.
But you got to give yourself that time. Like, you have to say no sometimes. You have to just put other things aside and put yourself first.
Yeah. I'm not sure our listeners agree. They're like, give me an episode.
Oh man.
Just kidding.
But
no, y'all have been very...
I enjoyed my time off.
Yeah.
I know you did, but I'm also really excited to get back into it because I'm working on a few things right now that I'm working on that aren't done, but I'm excited to get them out to you guys. So
awesome.
But what do you have for us tonight?
So today, they call, I don't know who they is.
Who's they?
I don't know who they is. Yeah, I don't know. They call this, it could be anyone. The reporters, everyone in the early 1900s, because that's where we're going. They call this the trial of the century. Maybe even the circus trial of the century. September 16th of 1922 in New Jersey, 2 lovers were found shot to death.
Oh my.
Under a crabapple tree.
Oh.
Reverend Edward Wheeler Hall was born in New York in 1881 and grew up in Brooklyn. He attended church as a child and sang in the church choir. He graduated Brooklyn Polytechnic Institute and then went to Hobart College on a scholarship and then became a minister.
Nice.
He married Frances Noel Stevens in 1910.
Jeez.
Now, she was from South Carolina and came from a wealthy family. And she was from one of the most influential.
She would have been on Southern Charm.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Her father was a wallpaper manufacturer and had connections to the Johnson & Johnson pharmaceutical fortune.
Excuse me. And back then everybody was doing wallpaper.
Well, yes.
I love wallpaper.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah. Why did we get away from that?
I don't know. I think it was the type of wallpaper they were choosing in the 80s. In the early 90s, the fruits.
Yes.
And the ugly roses.
Yeah, they're so with the beige much prettier ones. So much prettier.
I do love a floral, but maybe not a beige background. Mm-hmm. Or maybe the right beige background. Who knows?
Listen, I'm no interior designer. You, on the other hand, I think could do fantastic things.
I will be doing more wallpaper in my house as time goes on.
All right.
Anyway, as you were saying.
So when Edward married Frances, he and his mother moved into 23 Nicole Avenue, which was Frances's grand home.
Oh, yes.
Her mother and her brother Willie were also living there.
Love it.
And along with them were 2 servants and a chauffeur.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
In 1922, he was 41. He was an Episcopal minister in New Brunswick, New Jersey. He was well educated and respected within the community. So another main character in the story is Eleanor Reinhardt Mills. She was married to James Mills in 1905. He was much older than her, and together they had 2 children. Eleanor had a big personality, and she sure could sing.
I mean, you can't have the name Eleanor and not have a big personality, I feel like. Don't you think? Like, that just sounds like a...
Oh, yeah. Actually, I have a friend who named her daughter Eleanor, and she absolutely has a big personality. I love it. So she was a singer. She was a homemaker, and she sang in the choir at the church where Edward was the minister.
Oh.
James, her husband, was the maintenance caretaker at the church as well. Despite both being married, Eleanor and Edward.
No, Lena, this is scandalous.
Right? Yes, despite being married to other people, Edward Hall and Eleanor Mills began an affair with each other in 1919.
Oh. Before the time of scandal.
Yeah.
They were OG scandal.
And it was reported that both of them had other affairs.
Oh, my.
With other people.
Loosey-goosey.
Right.
I mean, once you have one affair, I'm sure it's really easy to be like,
Yeah, it was nothing for her. And like I said, her husband was older than her. And so I don't know if she felt
neglected or something like
I don't
that.
know.
Mm.
But also Frances was like, I think 7 years older than Edward. So I don't know. There was just maybe a disconnect. I'm not going to try to figure out.
He was a pastor?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Lord Jesus.
So Eleanor, she had multiple long affairs through the years. So most of the church congregation knew this of her, and they knew of the affair between her and the Reverend.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 2 lovers had traveled together to Atlantic City.
Oh my gosh.
And they were seen attending a Broadway show together.
Jeez.
But then in August of 1922, Edward and his wife took a 3-week-long vacation. This didn't stop the lovers from communicating.
Oh.
They wrote letters back and forth. I don't know, maybe postcards.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Did they have postcards back then?
Yeah, I'm sure. Carrier pigeons.
In one letter, he wrote to Eleanor, "Dearest, will these days never pass? Each one seems weeks long. Oh, how I long to be with you again."
Wow.
Eleanor wrote back, "I have the greatest of all blessings, a noble man, deep, true, and eternal love. My heart is his, my life is his, all I have is his. Poor as my body is, scrawny as they say my skin may be.
What?
But I am his forever.
Oh.
So poetic.
That's beautiful.
I guess. So they did talk about divorcing their spouses, but knew that it would be impossible. I mean, in those times, you had to have like serious...
Like documentation, like more documentation than we need. It had to be a reason, right?
Yeah.
Like it couldn't have been an amicable split.
Exactly.
I know what you mean.
Thank you. I'm just, I may look disheveled. That's because I am. Okay. So knowing that it would be pretty impossible, perhaps maybe they would run away together. Maybe.
Yeah, do that.
Maybe.
Go for it.
So September 16th of 1922, 23-year-old Raymond Schneider was walking with his 15-year-old girlfriend, Pearl Bomber.
Oh, my.
Well, that's not such a big deal back then. They were walking on a dirt path near an abandoned farm near Franklin Township in New Brunswick. So this dirt road was also known as Lover's Lane.
Oh.
As the pair is walking and enjoying each other's company, they came upon the crabapple tree, where they discovered the Reverend and his mistress laying face up and shot to death.
Oh, that's not, I didn't expect, didn't expect that.
Yeah. So Edward, he still had his glasses on and his Panama hat was pulled partially over his face. He was shot once in the right side of his head. He had a bruise on his ear and injuries on his hand and a wound beneath his right knee. Obviously, he was in a scuffle. His right arm was stretched out and his hand was under Eleanor's neck and shoulder area. It was determined that his watch was missing, but his wallet was found near his body. Undetermined if any money was taken from it, but his change was still in his pocket, so it didn't seem to be robbery other than his watch missing. Eleanor had been shot 3 times in the head.
Oof.
Once in the right temple, once in the right side of her head, and once beneath her right eye.
Oh.
And her throat was deeply cut. Her lip had a laceration and she had a bruise on her arm. She was wearing a blue dress with red polka dots and a scarf had been draped over her neck as maybe to...
Like to hide it. Good Lord, that's some anger right there.
Yeah. It sounds personal, doesn't it? It was obvious that their bodies had been dead for over 24 hours as worms and maggots were already on them.
Well, they are outside.
Reverend Hall's calling card was propped against his shoe.
Weird.
Now, with that detail, along with the way their bodies were laying, it seemed obvious that someone staged the scene. Their bodies lay there and scattered around them were love letters that Eleanor wrote to Edward.
Wow.
The letters expressed their love for each other as well as the frustration of their situation and how much they wanted to be together. The media had a heyday with this one.
This is sensational.
Oh, yeah. And this is the era when you could go to a crime scene and trample all over it. I mean, it was out in the open on a dirt road.
Yeah.
It wasn't blocked off or secured. And you could just take whatever you wanted. And people did just that. People took pieces of bark from the crabapple tree.
I mean, why?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, maybe one of the love letters I would see I took one of the love letters, but a piece of bark from the tree. I mean,
I'm pretty sure by the time people actually got there, maybe the letters and the bodies had been removed, but they just came to see the crime scene itself. I don't know. I don't know all the specifics. And actually, one report I read was that the crabapple tree was pretty much cut down from all the pieces that had been taken.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
Here, you take this log. I don't know.
I'm taking this piece. I'm taking this branch.
Lord.
You know, I can't say that if I lived back then that I wouldn't have taken a piece of bark.
I absolutely would expect you to.
Let's go down to the crabapple tree.
Anyway, so James Mills was immediately suspected, but he had a solid alibi.
Okay, and that was?
Well, so Eleanor and Edward had been missing. I'll get to it here in just a second.
Okay.
They've been missing since September 14th.
Oh.
And that day, Eleanor talked to her daughter, Charlotte, who was 15 at the time. And she is telling Charlotte that she's, thinking about divorcing James, her dad. Really? And so Eleanor, she ends up leaving home just after dinner. She gets a cab and goes to George Street, and then she walked a short distance to a park. Now, she didn't tell Charlotte or anyone where she was going, but a passerby had saw her at that park. So we know that's the last time that she was actually seen alive. That's the last witness sighting. So Eleanor never made it home that night. So that day, James, he's recounting his steps with the investigators. He had been doing some woodwork outside of his home till about 9 p.m. when a neighbor complained about the noise that he was making. So, there's the neighbor that can corroborate.
That he was home and doing stuff.
Yes, that he was making too much noise.
Right.
So at 9:45 p.m., he moved to the back porch, lit some gas lamps, and he finished his work in the back till about 10:30 is when he completed it. At 11 p.m., James, he's like, okay, I need to go find Eleanor. She's not home. It's 11 o'clock. Nothing good happens after midnight.
Right.
So he left home and he walked to the church to go see if she was there.
Oh.
He stopped and he bought a soda at 11:05 p.m. On his way to the church. The church was quiet as a mouse with no one in sight. So he arrived back home. He got home about 11:20. At 2 a.m., he still was concerned for his wife. So he went back to the church and still didn't find her. So he goes back home.
Why did he go to the church? Was this because he knew about the affair or?
Yes. Well, that's my assumption from the reports.
Like it was
seems
talk of
everybody
the town.
knew that this was going on. And we'll get to it here in a little bit. Francis knew it was going on. So I'm sure James did too. With so much dealings with them in the church I don't know what Eleanor would be doing at 2 o'clock in the morning as a choir singer for the church. Maybe she did other things for the church. I don't know. But it seems that a lot of her life was at home and at church.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So he goes at 2 a.m., still no sighting. He goes back home. And just before 9 a.m., he went back to the church where he found Francis.
Oh.
She told James that Edward also had not come home that night. James asked Francis, "Do you think they eloped?" So there's your answer.
Okay.
He knew. She said, "No, it must be foul play. Edward never stayed out all night." And this is when she decided to notify the police that her husband had not come home. James checked in with Francis several times throughout the day and to see if she had heard anything, any news. James was befuddled. Francis remarked, "They must be dead or they would have come home."
Okay, Francis.
Interesting comment.
Yeah.
So the suspicion turned to Frances Hall and her brothers.
Oh.
So Henry Stevens and William, aka Willie Stevens. Also, Henry Carpenter, their cousin, was suspected.
Okay.
To
family affair.
Right, exactly. After all, the church congregants did witness just the day before the murders at a church picnic. Frances stood up and spoke in front of everyone, saying, "To our wives and our sweethearts, may our sweethearts be our wives and our wives be our sweethearts."
Okay.
That was a statement
All
saying,
right.
I know what you're doing, and
I'm your wife, and I better be your sweetheart.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's almost like, seems like a threat
Seems
in
like
hindsight.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, Eleanor, she followed up with a speech of her own.
Oh, ding, 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 ding.
She stood and said, "I have a better one.
Oh.
May our sweethearts and our wives never meet."
Oh, my.
So brazen.
Scandal.
Yeah, this girl.
Can you imagine being like out at that picnic?
I mean,
wow.
Yeah. The day after the picnic, September 14th, Edward went about his daily pastoral duties. Frances answered 2 calls from Eleanor to Edward. Like, she just doesn't care.
What?
Frances told police that she had spent the evening alone. She played solitaire from 9 to 11 p.m. and then went to bed, and Edward never came home.
Yep.
She said that she went out at 2:30 a.m. to try to find him. It's interesting that she has the same timeline as James, because he went out at 11. She's saying she went to bed at 11. He's saying he went to go find her at 2. She's saying she went at 2:30 to go find him. And then they both end up at the church at 9 a.m.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So Frances's maid, Louise, confirmed that Frances was home that evening. Edward told Frances that he had work to do at the church, but a witness last saw him alive on Russey's Lane, close to where Eleanor was last seen by a witness, not at the church.
Right.
Raymond Schneider, the man who found the bodies, was then suspected, but that suspicion fizzled out. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his girlfriend was at his side, so, their story was...
You always got to look at the finder, though.
Right. So Frances and her brothers and cousin were charged with the 2 murders, ultimately.
Really?
Mm-hmm. With little to go on.
I was about to say, what evidence did they have? I mean, back then, you didn't really have to have evidence.
True.
You were just like, we think it's you. Hang them in the streets.
The motive was clearly there.
Yeah.
But with little evidence, the grand jury refused to indict them and dismiss the case.
Okay. Well, that's how the system is supposed to work. So
right. So Mr. James Mills, along with the majority of the town, believed that Frances had something to do with it. And he actually remarked, "I suppose they will never do anything now, but there is a higher judge."
Amen about that.
So Frances traveled to Europe after this escapade.
Well, she can do just about anything she wants.
Oh, for sure.
Did she take her servants and her maid with her?
Well, why wouldn't she?
I don't know.
She's going to need them because she stayed there for 2 years.
Oh, yes. Definitely can't be getting your own sandwiches for 2 years.
Yeah, so 2 years. She came back to New Brunswick in 1925. So on July 8th of 1926, a piano tuner named Arthur Real filed for divorce from Louise, Frances's maid.
Oh.
He came forward and said that Louise lied for Frances to corroborate her alibi.
Well, she's not going to bite the hand that feeds her, is she?
Well, no. And in return for her silence, she was given $5,000.
Okay.
Louise had confessed to Arthur that Edward told her that he and Eleanor were going to elope. And so then in return, Louise told Frances of this plan. Frances devised a plan with her brothers. And there you go.
Messy.
But, others thought that Arthur was just causing this big scene because, as a revenge for Louise. So was his story true?
Yeah.
But with this information, Frances, Henry, Willie, and their cousin Henry were arrested and charged.
Oh my gosh, again.
So in 1926, the Daily Mirror reported that the case would go to trial with charges against Frances and her 2 brothers and cousin on November 3rd of 1926. The courtroom was packed.
Girl, I'd be there with my fan, my notepad.
Oh, yeah. It was noted that Henry Stevens was a firearms expert and a marksman. Willie Stevens did have some mental disabilities. He was very loyal to his family, but he was a little erratic at times.
Easily manipulated,
right?
Perhaps.
Maybe. It was determined that the lovers were shot with a .32 caliber gun, but no confirmed murder weapon was ever found. Now, Willie, he did own a .32 caliber revolver, but this gun was examined and found to be inoperable. The hammer on it had been filed down so that he couldn't use it.
Okay, but before or after?
Yeah, that's my question. Could this have been tampering with evidence, or was the gun in this condition before? Yeah, that's a great question.
We can't know.
And we won't know.
And we won't.
Jane Gibson, who became known as the Pig Woman because she owned a pig farm.
I would be so mad if people called me the Pig Woman.
Yeah, did she embrace it? I would like to know.
I don't know. People probably do call me the Pig Woman. Even own a pig farm.
Oh my gosh. She had initially notified authorities of what she witnessed the night of the murder.
Oh, do tell.
But before the trial rolled around, Jane was very ill, basically on her deathbed. Ooh. Now, it was said that she had tried 7 times maybe to get someone to listen to her, going to the police and telling them her story, but every time she went, there was a little something extra that she added or something was changed in the story. So they didn't really know if they could believe her. But regardless, at trial, she was wheeled in on her hospital bed and brought to the witness stand.
Amazing.
And she told the courtroom that she saw the murder happen while she was on her mule chasing a thief.
What a spectacle. This whole, the whole murder, the story behind the murders, and this woman's wheeled in.
Yeah.
And she's like, I was chasing a thief.
I was riding my mule, Jenny. That's true. Her name was Jenny. So on the night of the 14th, her dogs began to bark around 9 or 10 p.m. She thought someone was stealing her crops. So she got on her mule, good old Jenny. And as she got a little ways down the road in the dark distance, she saw shadows of a group of men and women.
Okay.
She could hear them shouting at each other. And just about that time, she heard a gunshot.
Oh.
And a man fell to the ground. The woman screamed, "Don't, don't." And then more gunshots.
Oh.
The woman fell to the ground. The headlights on the car that was over near the group helped her to be able to see that one of the murderers had bushy hair. In fact, Willie has bushy hair.
Oh.
And she pointed Henry Carpenter, the cousin, out as being one of the men that she saw. I mean, it's 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Maybe the moon was bright. There are headlights. I don't know how close she got. I don't know.
Okay.
Jane knew that she had to get back home to safety, and so she turned Jenny around and trotted off back home, but without getting caught. Jane said that she went back to the area of the crime in the early morning and saw Frances kneeling over the bodies.
Oh.
But each time, like I said, each time she shared the story, It seemed to change or get better.
Yeah, a little more details.
The defense attorneys brought in Jane's estranged mother and yell out in the courtroom that Jane was a liar.
Oh.
She's a liar! She's a liar!
Wow.
Jane looked straight at the 3 accused at the defense table and said, God is my witness. I'm telling the truth, and you know that I'm telling the truth.
Wow.
She's laying, okay,
You
picture
can't
it.
argue with the pig lady on her deathbed.
Right. And I mean, picture it. She's laying in her hospital bed. She sits up, leaning on one of her arms. She looks straight at them. You know I'm telling the truth.
Oh my gosh. And they're like, gulp.
Yeah. So the business card that was left at the foot of Edward was tested for fingerprints, and lo and behold,
wow,
they found a print that matched that of Willie Stevens.
Well, I was going to say the wife, but that would have been easier to say that she probably did handle those business cards at one point or another, but Willie.
Yeah, so that's exactly what the defense said. Of course, Willie could have handled it. He lived in the same house as Edward.
Yeah, but why would he have his business card?
Why? Was it sitting on the kitchen table and he thought, But yeah, and so the defense also argued that many people were at the crime scene. I mean, of course, Willie could have been one to pick it up.
Dude, being a defense attorney back then must have been a breeze.
Right.
Because you'd be like, the scene was never secured.
Well, there's
people in and out.
That and dealing with this wealthy family.
Right.
There were many rumors that the family had paid off a lot of witnesses and paid off a lot of the investigators.
Yeah.
Ralph Gosling, another witness, said that Henry Stevens warned and threatened him to not say a word about what he saw the night of the murder. I don't know what that was, but he was told
he saw something.
He was threatened and paid off. A state trooper, Henry Dickman, said that he was paid $2,500 by the cousin, Henry, to leave the family out of the investigation. A friend of Edward's had told authorities that Francis's brothers had threatened Edward and that Edward was even afraid of his wife. This friend was nowhere to be found when trial started. Henry Stevens' friend testified in support of his alibi, stating that Henry had been fishing that night and couldn't have committed the murders. Yeah. By the time of the trial, Eleanor's autopsy report could not be located. Nowhere to be found.
Oh, really?
It's suspected that the original investigators or someone else were paid off to discard it. So a new autopsy was ordered. Yes, that would mean that her body was exhumed.
Wow.
This is when they learned that Eleanor's tongue and larynx had been cut out.
Oh my gosh. Be more obvious.
Right? Well, so some suspected that this was done during the autopsy. I'm not sure why.
Well, it makes sense if they were, if she had that deep neck wound and they were trying to
look behind or I don't know. Yeah. It could have happened, but others
say it happened during the crime.
Yeah, others say that it could have been the killer had, as a statement or done in spite. She was a singer. Now she could no longer sing.
Oh, that's pretty saucy.
Yeah. So Eleanor's love letters that were scattered at the scene were read aloud. How did the letters get to the scene? It seems that if Eleanor had mailed the letters to Edward,
they would have been in Edward's possession.
And then Frances would have got her hands on them for sure. The trial lasted a month with 157 witnesses.
Wow.
And on December 3rd of 1926, Frances, Stephen, and Willie were found not guilty.
I knew you were going to say that.
Henry Carpenter requested that, and he was awarded a separate trial from his cousins. His case was ultimately dismissed after the not guilty verdict of his cousins.
Okay. I suggest that if you ever find yourself co-defendants with anyone in a murder trial, you better fight for your own trial.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going down with anybody.
You're not going to stick by my side.
No, and I'm not going to have two juries sitting there listening to both stuff. And, no, that's a mess.
For sure.
Give me my own jury.
Yeah. Well, that's what he asked for. And so
smart guy.
His didn't even go to trial. Henry Stevens died of a heart attack in 1939.
Yikes.
13 years later, after all that. Frances died from a long illness in 1942, and Willie died 11 days after her from natural causes.
Oh.
So James did not remarry after Eleanor died, and he ended up dying in 1965.
Wow.
And was buried next to Eleanor.
Okay.
Interesting. That was interesting to me.
That is interesting.
So to this day, no one has been convicted. 100 years later.
That's crazy.
So theories still linger over Frances, her brothers and cousin. Could James Mills have been involved, or could it have just been a random attack? There have been reports that it was done by the Ku Klux Klan, but
come on.
Yeah, that's a far reach.
What? Were they black?
No.
Okay, that makes no sense then.
No, far reach.
Okay.
So an audio tape sits at the New Brunswick Free Library that you could listen to, with audio from a radio broadcast discussing Julius Baliog, a Hungarian immigrant who had been friends with Willie Stevens. Julius came forward after 47 years about his involvement in the murder case.
Really?
Julius was 67 when he came forward in 1969. And he told police that a day or two before the murders, he carried $6,000 from the minister's wife, Frances, to two local hoodlums. Julius was 20 at the time and said that he did it as a favor to Willie. Julius said that one of the hoodlums' names was Isidore, a.k.a. Ike, Gutman, and the second man that he carried the money to was a man that he only knew as Freddie. Julius said that Willie came up to him at a store where Julius was sitting on a bench, and Willie asked him to go with him to see Ike. Now, Willie seemed really nervous to Julius. So Julius asked, he's like, "What had happened, Willie?"
Mm-hmm.
And Willie said, "I need you bad. I need you bad. Willie led Julius to a spot about 2 blocks away. He pointed to a parked car in where Frances and a man were sitting, and told Julius to go see Frances. And he did what he was told. Frances gave Julius 2 envelopes. He walked back to Willie, and Willie told him to go over there and see Ike. He points over there, and he's like, "Go see that guy over there." So again, he did what he was told. Julius walked up to Ike, and he said, "Willie sent me over to give you these 2 envelopes." Ike took both, and he looked in it, and he gave one to Freddie. Both envelopes contained $3,000 each.
All right.
Ike looked at Freddie, and he said, "Is this all right?" And Freddie looked in the envelope, and he said, "Well, we'll see." Ike then looked back at Julius and said, "If you know what's good for you, you keep your mouth shut."
Oh.
Ike was a small-time gangster and got himself into unrelated legal trouble and was ultimately shot to death in 1934.
Ooh.
Reportedly by the mob.
Huh.
But police have not been able to identify this Freddie character. Julius was asked to go through a psychiatric examination and lie detector tests to confirm his story. He took 2 separate polygraphs, and both of these examinations revealed that he was telling the truth. I mean, we know polygraphs.
Right.
he was asked 32 questions on the finer details of the area and the time, and he didn't fail any of them.
Well, and like, besides the polygraph, like, why would someone come forward all this time later?
And that's
if it wasn't true.
Right. After all of them were...
Yeah. Everyone got off scot-free.
Yeah.
Why insert yourself?
They weren't alive
all this
anymore.
Time later?
Right. And so he was actually asked just that. Why would you come forward all these years later? He said, well, I got sick and I guess I was in bad shape. So I just felt that I needed to get rid of that grudge that I had against Ike. That's about all.
Okay. Well.
So yeah, take that as you will. That's the end of the story. That's all I got for you. I personally think it's Frances and her brothers.
That's wild. It's crazy to me that we look back on these old cases, and even cold cases that we have evidence retained still.
Mm-hmm.
But these cases are so old. There is nothing. There's nothing to test.
All you have are all of these media reports, news reports, newspaper clippings.
And this person said that, and this person was on her donkey, and this person saw this, and, you know.
Yeah.
I think, what was his name? The last guy, the guy that confessed.
Julius Baliog.
Yeah, Julius. You just said his name, and I've already forgotten it. But he's like the most credible person's whole thing.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, he found himself so mixed up in this wildness.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, is he inserting himself, and for what? I think that's why they had him do a psychiatric exam, because you would have to be crazy just to say that you were involved in something like that.
After all this time.
Yeah.
Did he, and he was never prosecuted?
No, it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is like he's risking his own, freedom.
Yeah.
And they could have very well held somebody accountable and said, oh, well, it's
sure.
You're the last one left. Wow. Well, these two did not deserve to die.
No.
For sure. Didn't deserve to die. I don't know what it was like back then. I don't know what their marriages were like. Shouldn't have been cheating, but didn't deserve to die.
Correct.
So that's really sad, especially since he was a pastor. And I'm surprised Eleanor told her daughter that she was going to be divorcing her dad that night.
I am, but she just seemed like someone who had no shame.
Right, and no filter.
No shame in the game.
Yeah, just like, it's over and I'm going.
This is what I want. Mm-hmm. She seems like a very selfish person, actually. Yeah. But, I mean, I don't want to speak ill of the dead. But I enjoyed researching this case. It was
the love letters. It's the love letters for me. I don't get the business card. I don't get that. But maybe so they could identify him immediately. But it's the love letters. Had the love letters not been sprinkled around, it could have the defense could have been, this could have been a random attack. There's absolutely no evidence that points back to the wife.
Right, and that's what makes me, I'm set that it was Frances because, the motive is there. The love letters she couldn't help herself to put her mark. It was so personal to her.
And I've got to know if the tongue was her doing or if it was the or the medical examiner's doing. Because you're right. You don't know, you don't really know what they're doing in an autopsy. Remember when Kendrick Johnson's family got his body back, it was all stuffed with newspapers.
Yeah.
And all his organs were, that case haunts me. If y'all don't know that case, look it up. Kendrick Johnson. But, well, thank you for telling that story. That was nuts. And that was great. Let's do it again sometime.
Well, all right. We're going to do it sometime.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye here.
Thanks for listening to Cousins on Crime. If you're enjoying the show, please rate and review wherever you listen, and consider joining our Patreon for bonus episodes every month.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook for case photos and to stay up to date with the latest C-on-C news. If you have a case suggestion or just want to tell us how cool we are, email us at cousinsoncrime@gmail.com.